Grand rising to you, my esteemed friend. Let me transport you back in time to the vibrant era of the Harlem Renaissance, where the spirit of creativity and cultural awakening illuminated the streets of Harlem, New York. The Great Migration from the South preceded this period of Renaissance between 1919 and 1929. There were so many influencers at this time. We know of the jazz clubs and the speakeasies and literary salons. You have names like Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, and other jazz virtuosos, and luminaries such as Langston Hughes and Zora Neale Hurston coming from the literary realm. Something surprising that popped up in the narrative is that Zora Neale Hurston inspired her friend Fannie Hurst to write the novel Imitation of Life. And this is based on Zora's traveling and researching around America. She was researching lumber camps in which there was a practice called paramour rights, where white men in power took black women as concubines and had them to bear children for them. I know, it's not comfortable, is it? White men are taking quite a beating in our culture lately. Now, I have to say, with all the mixed race people of that era, I know that everything wasn't based on rape and paramour rights. I know that there was a lot of voluntary swirling going on, and we'll have to sort it all out, okay? But it does look a little bit like maybe the white guys were the biggest baby daddies out there. One thing I remember going to Spelman, one of the women that worked there for many years, she said that Spelman was a place where the Rockefeller men could educate and hide their children that they created with black women, Negroes or coloreds, whatever you want to say. This leads me back to Fredi Washington, the star of the movie Imitation of Life. Well, Fredi and her younger sister, Isabel, were big influencers during the Harlem Renaissance. Fredi and Isabel Washington were popular chorus girls, and Fredi's mentor was none other than Josephine Baker, who helped her get the movie role in Imitation of Life. Talk about interesting intersections and how many people were contemporaries. I want to do a timeline to show how many people were alive at the same time and they would have crossed paths. Many people. Two of those people that crossed paths and allegedly had an affair was Fredi Washington and Duke Ellington, who was married at the time. This was a heartbreak for her, but she did go on to marry the trombonist Lawrence Brown from Duke Ellington's jazz orchestra, and her second husband was a dentist. So, by many people's standards, she didn't do too bad. And Fredi's little sister, Isabel, didn't do too shabby either. When she was dancing at the Cotton Club, she caught the eye of Adam Clayton Powell. Now, Adam Clayton Powell's family reportedly wasn't happy about that. They didn't want him bringing a dancer home from the Cotton Club. In addition, other things that piled up against Isabel was that this would have been her second marriage and she had a child. Also, another sticky situation was that Adam Clayton Powell was the son of the famous pastor of Abyssinian Baptist Church. So they had big plans for their son, and this was not the kind of marriage they wanted for him. Yeah, I know you're wondering. Adam Clayton Powell Jr. did pass for a period of time in his life when he was in college. Other than that, he was all about civil rights and the plight of the Negro. Adam Clayton Powell Jr. and the Washington sisters, Fredi now being his sister-in-law, she worked with him a lot with the civil rights movement. She did writing for one of his publications, and they represented this new Negro, this aspirational, upwardly mobile Negro. They also were influential in other Negroes from Harlem to have homes in Martha's Vineyard. Adam and Isabel would later divorce. Adam remarried, went on to have a career in politics as well as being the pastor of the Abyssinian Baptist Church. Isabel retired as a New York City school teacher and lived in Martha's Vineyard. I'd like to research some of these things deeper. I see a lot of overlap, and also looking at where we are today, how a lot of these people were part of this social engineering that occurred where race became almost like a cult, in my opinion. Race and identity, as well as victim consciousness, racism, and the civil rights movement. And a lot of these things have been orchestrated, socially engineered. And also communism is interwoven. And that's the thing that concerns me the most, is that the very things that have been packaged as social justice is really communism underneath the hood. Tell me what you think, but I'm going to explore this more.